Welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into the tech that genuinely impacts your life, offering the unfiltered truth you need before you spend your hard-earned cash. If you appreciate honest, in-depth reviews like this, consider hitting that subscribe button right now and ringing the bell. I work tirelessly to gather useful information and insights for you, and your support is what keeps this channel going. My 2-month intensive trial with the new iPhone 17 Pro has finally reached a critical inflection point. The shine of the launch has officially faded. The honeymoon phase is over, and I can now deliver the kind of genuinely candid, long-term assessment that no first-week review can touch. This isn't just a breakdown of specs. It's a brutally honest evaluation of where the 17 Pro excels and, perhaps more crucially, where it falls utterly short of justifying its premium price tag. While I found myself enjoying the overall experience, there are essential, granular details that any potential buyer must grapple with, which might lead you to a drastically different conclusion than my own. #, the enduring quest for power. A deep dive into battery longevity. Apple's commitment to maximizing battery performance in its Pro lineup has been a deliberate, multi-year engineering ascent, a trend that became highly apparent starting with the iPhone 15 Pro era. This sustained evolution is a result of a powerful combination: the subtle magic of software optimization, the genius of their silicon engineers, and the simple, effective strategy of physically expanding the energy cell within the device's chassis each year. The iPhone 17 Pro is the latest, and perhaps most significant, beneficiary of this philosophy, arriving with capacity that feels almost dramatically oversized compared to its immediate predecessors. When measured against the 15 Pro, the 17 Pro's energy storage boasts an increase of almost $1,000/TexMod, which translates to roughly a 30% jump in pure physical capacity. In my analysis, this massive leap in raw battery storage is the single most important factor driving its impressive all-day endurance. A fascinating, if subtle, design choice this year is the advent of the eSIM-only version, by eliminating the physical SIM card tray, a component that, however small, occupies critical internal volume. Apple was able to reclaim that space and dedicate it to even more battery cells. While the traditional SIM variant still offers superb longevity, it is a pure eSIM model that truly pushes the envelope, offering a compelling glimpse into the future of power efficiency. Ignoring the technical mechanics, be it brute force capacity, thermal sorcery, or component shuffling, the result in real-world performance is undeniable. The 17 Pro effortlessly delivers approximately 13.5 hours of mixed, genuine daily usage. This figure is frankly staggering, effectively placing the smaller, lighter Pro form factor squarely into the territory of the previous generation's larger Pro Max models, trailing the latest 16 Pro Max by only an hour or so. It is a monumental engineering feat that gives you true all-day performance and then some. Yet, this phenomenal endurance brings us to a critical, almost philosophical question for a modern smartphone. How much battery life is truly necessary for the majority of users? Even in a scenario where battery anxiety traditionally peaks, like international travel, that fear is mitigated by modern peripherals. My backpack invariably contained a laptop or iPad, which serve as substantial power banks, or at least a compact MagSafe pack capable of delivering a full emergency charge. My personal, powerful conclusion is this: for many of us, the continuous push for greater battery capacity crossed a good enough threshold a couple of generations ago, specifically with the iPhone 15 Pro. While the 17 Pro's endurance is exceptional, the incremental benefit for the typical consumer has now become marginal, transforming from a critical feature into little more than a luxurious, expensive buffer against the unexpected. #, Scratchgate, separating media hype from real-world durability. With every flagship product cycle, particularly involving the iPhone, a wave of controversy is manufactured, often driven by sensational headlines and the clickbait economy. The iPhone 17 Pro's launch was no exception, with the drama centering on Scratchgate, the claim that the 17 Pro's chassis was unusually susceptible to cosmetic damage, specifically chips and scratches, compared to previous Pro models. From a purely technical perspective, there is a kernel of truth to the theoretical vulnerability. The 17 Pro utilizes an anodized aluminum finish for its frame, a material choice that, in its raw form, is indeed less resistant to superficial abrasions than titanium used in earlier models. Aluminum is incredibly robust, rated at a 9 on the Mohs scale of mineral hardness, putting it just below diamond, a testament to its overall structural integrity. However, the application of the anodized coating, which provides a device's distinctive color and an additional protective layer, presents a manufacturing challenge, particularly on complex geometries. The issue is most evident around the sharpest contours, such as the edge encircling the camera plateau and the cutouts for the individual lenses. In these high-stress, tight-radius areas, the anodized layer struggles to adhere with the same uniform thickness and resilience as it does on the flat surfaces of the phone's back. This localized weakness means these specific edges are where minor chipping or damage is most likely to begin. To test this very claim for our technology review audience, I intentionally used my 17 Pro without any protective case for several weeks. The result was highly telling. Despite my best efforts to observe damage, my unit showed no signs of deep scratches or material chipping. This leads me to believe that while the theoretical durability is slightly lower due to the material trade-off, the real-world impact is negligible for anyone who practices basic device care. Furthermore, the shift from titanium to aluminum is not a cost-cutting measure, but a calculated engineering decision involving a significant trade-off. While titanium offers superior cosmetic durability, aluminum is demonstrably better at heat dissipation. This means the 17 Pro, by leveraging aluminum, can far more efficiently draw heat away from the core internal components, allowing for better sustained performance. It is a choice that accepts a slightly higher potential for minor surface, where in exchange for a cooler, more performant device, a non-issue for the vast majority of consumers who, like myself, immediately envelop their expensive hardware in a protective case. Fundamentally, a modern smartphone is a tool. It is used daily, and minor wear and tear is an expected, largely irrelevant consequence of its utility. Scratchgate quickly dissolved into the kind of non-story that only serves to fill the sensational vacuum of the tech news cycle. In the realm of raw processing power, every new iPhone generation brings with it benchmark improvements, and the A19 Pro chip is no exception. On paper, the gains are significant, particularly in graphically intensive tasks that rely heavily on the GPU, such as high-end mobile gaming. However, translating those impressive benchmark figures into a noticeable difference in daily usage remains a persistent challenge for modern silicon. When pitting the 17 Pro against its direct predecessors, and even the base iPhone 17, the actual in-game experience was often indistinguishable. Whether this is a reflection of the current limitations of mobile game optimization, or simply the fact that previous generations were already overpowered, is certainly debatable. For a user who isn't a hardcore mobile gamer, the incremental performance boost might feel negligible. The true revolutionary secret weapon of the 17 Pro, and the design element that deserves extensive focus from a technology review standpoint, is its brand new vapor chamber cooling system. This sophisticated thermal architecture represents a massive, necessary leap in how Apple manages heat. The system is essentially a hermetically sealed chamber containing a minute amount of deionized water. As the A19 Pro chip generates thermal energy during intensive operations, editing 4K video, rendering graphics, or sustained gaming, this heat is rapidly transferred to water, causing it to instantly turn into vapor. This vapor then travels across the large surface area of the chamber, effectively distributing the heat away from the core processing unit before condensing back into liquid. The implications of this vapor chamber are twofold and profound. First, it ensures that the A19 Pro can maintain its peak performance for much longer periods. Instead of aggressively throttling when reaching a critical temperature, the chip is permitted to operate at maximum efficiency, leading to higher sustained frame rates and faster completion of demanding tasks. The performance doesn't drop off a cliff. It tapers gently and much later. Second, and perhaps more crucial for the user experience, it drastically improves thermal comfort. Older iPhones, when pushed, would often develop painful, localized hot spots, particularly on a metallic frame or near the camera bump. This concentration of heat makes the phone distinctly uncomfortable, especially for users who might experience increased hand moisture, a condition I affectionately call swamp fingers. The The 17 Pro's vapor chamber ensures that the heat is spread out evenly over the entire chassis, resulting in an overall temperature that is only a few degrees warmer, but critically, it avoids those painful hot spots. The phone simply feels nicer to hold. It is a palpable ergonomic advantage. It transforms a high-performance device from an occasionally unpleasant, hot block of metal into a comfortable, cool-to-the-touch instrument, providing a user experience improvement that far outweighs any incremental benchmark score. The 17 Pro, in effect, applies an antiperspirant to the digital device experience, a subtle yet significant quality-of-life upgrade. Hashtag capturing the moment. Subtle yet strategic camera upgrades. While every iPhone Pro boasts an improved camera system, the 17 Pro introduced only two core features that genuinely altered my day-to-day photographic habits. These upgrades are not about revolutionary image quality leaps, but about expanding creative flexibility and improving the device's utility in modern, common scenarios. The first and surprisingly impactful change is the implementation of the new, slightly square-shaped sensor. This adjustment, combined with corresponding software tweaks, allows for an incredibly natural and fluid shift to a horizontal aspect ratio, particularly for selfies. In the past, capturing a group of people or fitting a busy background meant awkwardly stretching one's arm, contorting the wrist into a painful, unnatural claw position, or resorting to an uncomfortable horizontal grip that risked dropping the device. Now, holding the phone naturally in a vertical grip allows the user to seamlessly switch to a horizontal frame, effortlessly capturing a wider field of view. This utility extends beyond static selfies. I found it indispensable for on-the-go video conferencing, particularly on platforms like Zoom. No longer are you the sole individual in a meeting filled with laptop-using participants whose webcam feed is awkwardly vertical. The new aspect ratio instantly gives you a professional landscape orientation, normalizing your presence in the digital meeting space. Furthermore, for anyone who records landscape-oriented selfie videos, this single change makes the process infinitely smoother and more stable. To illustrate the effectiveness of this framing, I spent time testing it by attempting to capture my notoriously uncooperative cat, Steve, from a comfortable distance, and the ability to seamlessly broaden the frame without changing my physical grip proved to be a remarkable quality-of-life feature. The second significant change is the optical zoom upgrade, moving from the previous $5x magnification to a new $8x telephoto lens. While a $5x zoom was perfectly adequate for most situations, the $8x range, especially when traveling or attempting to capture distant subjects, provides that extra bit of professional reach. It's an added layer of flexibility in the camera kit, allowing me to frame shots that simply weren't possible before. However, in our technology review, we must be brutally honest about the image quality trade-off. The highest quality optical zoom is typically achieved through the $4x lens. When you push to the $8x level, the system utilizes a crop from a main $48 text megapixel sensor, effectively downsampling the image to $12 text megapixels. While this is mitigated by Apple's excellent computational photography algorithms, the resulting images and video at $8x are noticeably less sharp and detail-rich than those captured at $4x. It is a valuable tool for flexibility, but not for absolute fidelity. Having thoroughly analyzed the key feature set, this technology review must now confront the elephant in the room. The fundamental problem of the iPhone 17 Pro is the immense quality and capability of its cheaper sibling, the base iPhone 17. The chasm between the standard and Pro models has narrowed so substantially this year that the Pro version faces a genuine crisis of justification for its $300 premium. I have been using both devices concurrently, comparing them meticulously, and the conclusions are unsettling for the Pro lineup. The list of once exclusive features that have now trickled down to the standard model is extensive and compelling. First, the base iPhone 17 now features the exact same $120 Hz dollar promotion screen technology as the Pro. This adaptive refresh rate, which provides the silky smooth scrolling and fluid responsiveness once reserved for Pro line, is now a standard experience, removing a significant performance differentiator. Second, The base model now comes standard with $256 GB of solid-state storage SSD, matching the entry-level Pro, thus eliminating the immediate need to upgrade storage for the vast majority of consumers who previously might have jumped to the Pro for the larger initial capacity. Third, while the Pro's battery life is technically superior, the standard 17's longevity is still excellent, more than enough to cross that good enough threshold for daily use. Fourth, performance, while technically slower on the base model's chip, is so closely matched in real-world application that unless you are constantly running highly specific, demanding GPU benchmarks, the difference is negligible. This leaves a $300 question resting almost entirely on two feature sets: the camera and the professional video tools. The Pro camera system superiority is limited almost solely to the inclusion of the telephoto lens, the $8x zoom, and the activation of high-end video codecs like ProRes and Apple Log. For the user who is an aspiring cinematographer or a professional who absolutely must have the highest optical reach, the 17 Pro justifies itself. But for the average consumer, or even the advanced hobbyist, is a telephoto lens and two video features worth an additional $300? I would argue emphatically no. The base iPhone 17 offers 90% of the core user experience: the screen, the speed, the storage, and the durability, for a significant discount. It is a fantastic phone that makes the 17 Pro feel paradoxically less pro than ever as before. It is a great device, one I love using, but it struggles mightily to carve out a compelling reason for its price tag in a world where its non-pro counterpart is so damn good. The decision is now less about performance and more about a marginal, niche set of camera features. Conclusion. The verdict from Technology Review: the iPhone 17 Pro is, without question, an exceptional piece of engineering. It sets new benchmarks for battery endurance in a compact form factor, utilizes a revolutionary vapor chamber cooling system that enhances sustained performance and, more importantly, thermal comfort, and offers subtle yet strategic camera upgrades that genuinely improve the user experience, especially the horizontal aspect ratio for selfies and video calls. However, the 17 Pro must be viewed through a financial lens, and in that regard, it falters. The base iPhone 17 has absorbed so many features that were once the hallmark of the Pro line: promotion, generous base storage, that have become the default recommendation for almost everyone. The 17 Pro is a luxurious optimization, a device for those who chase the final decimal point of performance, demand the furthest optical reach, or utilize professional video codecs. For everyone else, its true value is diminished. As a dedicated Technology Review, my honest thought is this: you will love the 17 Pro, but you should probably buy the base 17. The future of premium mobile technology is here, but its value proposition is more complex than ever. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.